is Dana, and you probably do not know me, but I am starting a new adventure of working from home. Although within the past few days or within the past few months that we are in quarantine, this is not really the first time I've ever started working, because I've been doing online teaching for quite a few days. But this is the first time that I'm going to try to journal whatever it is that I'm feeling, whatever it is that I've been doing ever since the quarantine. Now, this is for you. I would call you my workmates. I would call you people that probably would feel the same way I do when we are confined to not working in a regular office, but rather we will be not forced, but probably we are given this option to work at home. And apart from this, we're also going to be discussing a few lessons about life itself, what this pandemic, what this whole scenario, this whole situation has taught us along the way. Now, if truth be known, the reason why I'm even starting this talk or discussion is the fact that I would want to be able to communicate with people as I move along in this journey. Because the truth is, I'm quite perplexed with the whole situation, knowing fully well that as a teacher, I've been used to talking to my students, I've been used to talking with my coworkers, my friends, whenever I have time to go out. So being in this whole setup where I need to work at home rather than go to the office is quite a new thing for me, and I need to be able to use my voice to be able to probably keep my sanity, because it's really not a very easy situation. It's not really something that I'm used to be confined within my house and just do the work. Now, I can't really tell you what I'm doing. I can't really tell you what this work is all about. It's, bound by confidentiality. But what I can tell you is that as I prepare to do these tasks, I'd like to be able to tell you what I've learned from this whole situation that we're in. So for each day that we're going to talk about this, as I do my job, we're going to talk about the lessons that we've learned about ourselves, the lessons that we've learned about life, the lessons that we learned about this whole pandemic, and the lessons probably that we learned from each other. So if just for the sake of discussion, there might be people who will be watching this, then you could probably share to us what you have learned through all this ordeal that we are now in. We are now in the middle of a pandemic. I know that most of us are already on GCQ, MECQ, so a lot of us are already free, but we probably have derived something out from this whole experience. Now, the first topic, or the first thing that I'd like to be able to talk about would be discovery. So this is going to be the first topic from this series. So I'm going to try to ask you, what have you discovered from yourself? Now, why am I talking about discovery? Now, it's because I, for one, have discovered that it is possible to actually work from home. It is possible to actually do something even when you're not working at the office. Now, what I discovered today is, of course, I could have the same setup as I would in a normal office. For instance, I could wake up the same time or almost the same time as I work in the office. I could cook as early as possible. I could, although I if I'm going to compare it with a regular working schedule, I probably am already late. But considering that, I realize that it is possible for you to still work around the schedule that you normally have and still be able to be productive even when you're just within your own premises at home is something to think about. Now, what I discovered also, aside from the discipline that we could try to get out from this, and self-control really, because sometimes it's easier to just while away the time and watch movies and probably chat with friends online and check your social media platforms, is the fact that there is also a way for us to discover what skills we are capable of doing. So a lot of us are probably frantic, especially those who have lost their jobs, those who are not allowed to work in the office, especially if you're not part of the essential services. A lot of us is probably thinking, what am I going to do? Or how would I be able to earn? What is it that would help me augment my finances, especially since you probably have lost whatever it is that you were earning from. Now, earlier this morning, I had delivery coming in from Taytay, online palengke. I am from Taytay, Rizal, by the way. So this is one way for people to earn. This is, you discover there are a lot of options for you. You can set up a home delivery. You can set up your own catering service, home catering service. If you have a car, then you can use a car so that you can not just deliver. Maybe you could probably use that if there are frontliners who would like to go to the hospitals or to whatever facilities that they need to go, and they don't have the luxury of a car or any kind of vehicle. So what we need to discover for ourselves is that you have to be able to ask, what is it that I can do? What is it that I possess? What is it that I consider as a skill that I have, which will be most useful for everyone? Now, if you yourself haven't really discovered yet what your passion is, or you haven't really discovered what your skills are, then you can probably ask your family, your friends, what do you think I'm good at? Am I good at talking to people? Maybe you can start a blog about consoling other people. If you are good at electrical things, then maybe you can try to fix things, or maybe go through a course that allows you to learn more about what you can do, fix computers. Or maybe you are good at cooking, then maybe you can start a catering service. Or if you are good with, maybe if you're good at reading things, or you're fond of reading, if you like books, just like I do. I don't have as much books as you can see, but I hope I can have more, but it's just that my eyesight doesn't really allow me to read as much books. But I try. But what I'm saying is that you can probably start a book club, if only to kill the boredom, and if only to be able to use your time productively. You can also probably, if you're a traveler, and since we don't have the capacity to travel at this point, we can only go to work, we can only go to places where it is most essential, then you can probably just look back, like a throwback Thursday, and then look back at your travel adventures, and then talk about it. Talk about the places, countries, cities, towns, provinces that you've been, and this probably would be helpful for those people who have not gone to those places and are excited to go where you have been. So when the whole quarantine has been lifted, and hopefully we're crossing our fingers that this whole thing will come to an end very, very soon. But then again, you would be able to help people. You'd be able to guide people where they could go if ever we're already out of lockdown. So there are a lot of the things that we can discover. There are a lot of things that we can do. We all have gifts. You cannot really tell yourself that you have no skills, that you don't have anything that you're capable of doing, because all of us as God's children have been given gifts. It's just a matter of tapping your potential. It's a matter of really knowing what those gifts are, what you are able to do. So as I said earlier, you might want to ask your friends, your family, what you are good at. Maybe if you're not good at using your hands, troubleshooting things, then maybe there's something innate in you that people will really gravitate to. Like if you're fond of making people laugh, then you can probably start a vlog about making jokes. Or if you're like to advise people, as I said earlier, then maybe you can start a vlog about advising people about their daily issues, about problems that they encounter in their lives. If you're good at dealing with children, then maybe you can start writing children's books, or maybe you can start doing storytelling for kids. So there are things that we would be able to do. There are things that I'm sure you would be able to discover in yourself. It's just a matter of really being open to the idea that each one of us has something to do. Each one of us has something to share. We all have gifts that we eventually would uncover throughout this this whole pandemic that we are in. There are moments that we will sorry about that, we would probably be quite surprised to discover things that about ourselves that we never thought was even in ourselves. So if you are listening right now and you're kind of depressed, I've gone through that myself, and you're kind of wandering in limbo as to what else am I capable of doing, or what is it that I can do that would make me surpass whatever it is that we are in right now. Then ask yourself these questions. What am I good at? What are my abilities? What do I like doing? What are my interests? Now, also, I always tell my students that as far as interest is concerned, we can all say that we're interested in something, but you have to also make sure that your interest is also matched with your skills or what you are capable of doing. It's not enough that you're interested, but if you're not good at what you do, then what's the purpose? So if you would like to learn something and you would like to be able to do something, make sure that you really hone your craft. Make sure that you improve yourself, so that if you have that capacity to share your skills, then nobody will question you for it. You're good at what you do, you love what you do, and you're also good at it, as I said. So know everything that you need to know about yourself. I think it comes from knowing who you really are before you can discover your true potentials. It's coming from what you aspire for, what your goals are, what you have been dreaming to do ever since you were a child, what have you learned in school or in life. What is it that makes you different, or what is it that you can offer to the world that you feel would make yourself useful and would also be useful for anybody who would be able to listen to you, who would be able to see you or watch you, or for those who will be able to discover who you truly are. So my best advice is, in discovering yourself and discovering your true potential, is that look inside yourself. Ask yourself, what is my gift? What is it that God would like me to do? What is it about me that would be most useful for everyone who needs my help, who needs the skills that I am able to do? So discover yourself, do what you can and do your best in whatever you do, and see the beauty inside of you, and try to tell yourself that no, it's not true that I have no abilities. It's not true that I don't have skills, or I do not possess any gifts. As I said, as I keep on saying, every one of us has gifts. It's just a matter of discovering what those gifts are. So that's just it for the day. Discover yourself. Discover everything about you. Discover everything that you're capable of doing. And maybe then you realize it's not going to be a very boring, or it's not really going to be a waste of time, really, to be stuck at home or to be where I am right now. So that's it for the day. That's it for our first session for working from home and the lessons that we learn out from it. Thank you, everyone, and God bless you.